Daily 5 for Thursday, February 27th, 2025. Depending on where you spend your time online, you may have seen that there was an announcement yesterday that made a lot of people very, very upset, and many of them voiced their opinions very loudly about it. And that was that the current owner of the Washington Post, and if you're not from the United States, the Washington Post is, I would say one of the better known newspapers that exists in this country. Most people know the Washington Post, which was, I don't remember when Bezos took it over. They were in real trouble. They were about to go under, I think, and then Bezos basically came in at the last minute and saved them. By the way, many of the people who are upset today, or upset with the announcement yesterday, and are upset, I'm sure, still today, were many of the same people who were celebrating Bezos coming in and saving this cornerstone of American journalistic excellence or whatever. A lot of people thought that this was a good thing when it initially happened. And actually, to be fair, I'm surprised it's taken this long for Bezos to really start to exert his influence on the paper. But, I guess things have recently changed in this country where he feels more free to start doing things like this. And like I said, a lot of people are very upset about this. On the one hand, I don't know what they thought was going to happen. I mean, have we not seen multiple examples where people with a lot of money take something over and then no matter what they say at the point of takeover, they eventually just bend it to whatever they want it to be? I don't know why that should really be all that surprising to people, but I do think, not that I'm happy. I mean, honestly, I don't read the Washington Post, to be frank about it, so I don't really care. But as far as the idea that, newspapers should operate as independently as possible, yes, I'm in favor of that. So I don't like the fact that this is happening. But on the other hand, I think that we have seen in the last month and a half or so that a lot of things that people would have simply said, oh, no, that's not going to happen, and we're not going to see that. No, it's all just a lot of talk and that type of thing. I think we're seeing a lot of actual attempts to change some of the things that a lot of people in the United States have counted on for a long time being there. And I think that all of this happening in such public and obvious and visible ways, and things like this too, I wonder if this is not a necessary wake-up call to people on how the world works. Because, again, I think all of this happening the way it is very different than it has in the past. In the past, things like this would go on, but you wouldn't really read about them. You wouldn't really hear about them. They wouldn't be quite so blatantly obvious. It would be done through back channels. It would be done quietly. Or it will be done under the shield of some kind of initiative that was meant to make everybody think that, these people actually cared about everybody. This is why you're seeing companies that are reversing policies that they claimed were core to their company values. This is why you're seeing companies that had very negative things to say about some of the people currently in power suddenly being awfully nice to them. And you're going to get a lot of people who will defend that saying, well, they have to be able to operate. It's a business. That's just the way it is. But I don't know how much I actually believe that. When you have companies that are worth more than most countries on the planet, I don't know that they have to do anything to be able to operate as businesses. I'm pretty sure when you reach a certain level of wealth, you can do just about anything you want. Certainly we know that's true on a personal level. I can't imagine it isn't on a corporate level. So a lot of what people are using as defense for the reversals of these companies, and that's not even commenting on whether the reversals are good or bad or whether they actually ever believe them or not, because I don't believe most of them ever did to begin with. It's just that it is interesting that so often we hear about, oh, these are the things we really care about. Companies saying this, of course, and rich people. We really care about, everybody, and we hold the same values, and we want all this stuff that is good for everybody. And then when certain conditions change, and when suddenly there doesn't seem to be a lot of penalty to saying what you actually think, well, gee whiz. Now suddenly we're seeing a lot of changing opinions and attitudes and values, core values that are very malleable and have suddenly become far more fluid than they ever were before. So again, I think all of the things that are happening in this country anyway, in this short amount of time and at such a very visible level, that might be something that's actually a good thing. Not in the short term and not good for the people it's affecting, but good for people who have, willingly or not, just tried to turn a blind eye to it. So is this something that surprises me? No. Is it something that I think is good that people have to see and grapple with? Yes, it is. Later.